This is Tiger Cats postgame on the Ticats Audio Network.
Tiger Cats give it their all in a really feisty battle between the Cats. They end up on the tough end of a 17-12 decision at BC Place to the Lions, who, as RJ said, improved to 4-1, and the Ticats dropped to 1-5. Bubba O'Neil along with you, Andy Fantuz. Boy, so many moments there, Andy, where you kind of thought it was the Tiger Cats going to get over that hump and get themselves in control in terms of a lead in this football game. But for many different reasons, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, showed a lot of promise there throughout the game, and just mistakes at the wrong times. That was what it was. There were some opportunities to put the ball in the air to some of the receivers, and they just didn't get quite far enough, throw far enough. Tim White had a bunch of chances downfield, and the throws were just a little short, or he couldn't make a contested catch. They showed a lot of grit and a lot of fight, and those two turnovers on downs really ended up being costly. I mean, all the turnovers. The last one didn't really make a difference, but the 3 turnovers, of course, made a big difference. This is a disappointing one for me because I feel like they played well enough to win. Just when you add up the missed field goal at the end of the first half, then they could, if they would have hit that, they could have been ready to kick a field goal to take the lead there at the end of the game instead of have to go for it on 3rd and 3. Just little things.
2-point convert.
The 2-point convert that they missed. The little things are compiling up, and to me it was just a scenario of missed opportunities. Defensively, they played pretty well. I mean, they had a lot of tackles for loss, a lot of second and longs for the Lions offense. However, the Lions were able to string together some of those second and longs at key times and end those in touchdowns. But overall, you got to be happy with your effort. Special teams played great. Just one penalty that hurt them, a holding penalty that set them back with terrible field position. But other than that, you got to be happy overall.
In our post game, as always, we will have a review. Andy's Car Star, 3 keys to victory. Coach O will join us. We'll get into the locker room, talk to a player, and of course talk to our performer. We'll name our performer of the game as presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength. So let's review our Car Star 3 keys to victory.
Let me just clear that up. I don't think you're going to be happy with a loss. That's not what I meant by that. You're going to be happy with the effort, happy with some aspects of the game. But to me, it's a disappointing loss. It's not an obvious play. It's just little issues here and there that they played well enough to win. These are the games you got to learn how to find a way to win, and they just couldn't get it done.
Let's review your Car Star keys to victory.
Well, number 1 was Ticat run defense, and I'm going to give them a big check mark on this one. They gave up an early 37-yard rush that was the Lions were pinned deep, and they got them out to midfield, and they had another 12-yarder and another 9-yarder in the game, but other than that. You kind of balance those against all the tackles for losses in the run game, and in the second and longs those caused. That's a big positive for me. Another aspect of that was really important was that to contain Nathan Rourke and make sure he didn't break the pocket and have any 10 or 20-yard rushes. And I believe he ended up four rushes for 8 yards. So that was outstanding.
Number 3.
Number two. Number 2. You're good.
Way ahead
it's late.
It's getting late.
Number 2, smothering special teams. Another one. Another big check mark for me. I mean, the coverage team was outstanding. The punting was great. Michael Domangala, he crushed it, and the cover teams were great. And other than that one holding penalty and the missed field goal, they really dominated. They dominated from start to finish on the special teams.
Don Miguel averaging over 50 yards a punt tonight. Number 3.
Number 3 was win the turnover battle, and they did not win that with that late interception. It was 4-3. for the Lions. And, a couple crucial ones. We already discussed it here, and it's just, if you can get that, like the defense playing well, forcing some turnovers, if you can just limit your turnovers to 1 or 0 or even 2, I mean, you win that ball game. So it's disappointing.
Let's name our performer of the game, as presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strength, and it's coming from the defense.
It is, yeah. I think, Braylon Addison had a great game on offense, really slippery, finding ways to will that offense to first downs. But, I mean, Tunde Adeleke was outstanding. In the first half, he was all over the field making key open field tackles on some of the most dynamic players in the league, and then came up with that big interception late in the game to give the Ticats great field position for a chance to win the game. So giving them a chance to win the ball game and keep it a minute in the first half. 7 tackles, 1 interception. Tunde Adeleke, congratulations.
Joining us for our post-game roundtable from the booth, Luke Tasker and RJ Broadhead. Again, guys, this is one of those situations where, again, you're close, but Luke, you're just not there. I mean, I think really what I want to focus on is the 2 final drives of the game. A 14-play, 89-yard drive that stalls at the BC 11, and then the 3-and-out from the 55-yard line, which includes that time count violation. Yeah. Again, as Andy said, these little tiny things turn out to be massive.
Yeah, and the spotlight's been on the offense all year, and for their inability to find those things that they have to do. And you know, that's such a great position to be in, where they were on their second to last drive, which was at the 10-yard line, but still a first down to be made. You know, it wasn't first and goal, or wasn't second and goal, first and goal. And so you got to be able to convert those and to get into that first down, to get that refresher downs there right close to the goal line. And that drive to be stopped short on that run play after what was by far their best run game on the season. And, you know, it's easy, or it can be, you know, we have a tendency to sit back and say what play should have been called, you know, at there. And you know, there's just the run game was rolling there. So, you know, maybe that's a fine call there to go try to get that first down, but it's just one of the things that goes into the category that you could fix. And I like the way Andy put it, that teams, you just got to find a way to win these games, because you look at it, you know, you go to the 30,000-foot view, and you're not going to win every game in a season, but it's these kind of games that you have to figure out how to come out on top of when things are going generally well. You look back to a missed field goal that would have made this into a 2-point game, you know, and then would have been able to that last 2 drives would have looked very different. But you know, you can point your finger at any phase of the game. It's about being complementary and cohesive with everything, and a lot of things to be hopeful for, but unfortunately another one in the loss column.
Folks, we have exclusive access to the coaching room. Time to check in with Coach O, as presented by Access Storage. Coach O, Bubba O'Neil here, and the rest of the boys here. Boy, the fight for your football team was outstanding tonight, but unfortunately you're just coming up a bit short.
Yep, couldn't be more pleased with the effort. Very frustrated with the execution at times. 12 games left, and we'll regroup, and we'll start our season with the Eastern Conference. But, this is a tough one, guys.
Coach, you got to be happy with the special teams play tonight, and really throughout the season so far. What are some takeaways you can bring from the special teams group after this game?
Well, I'm happy to single out positives from all 3 phases, but just need to know that we're not in this for moral victories, and we're in this thing to win it, and we put ourselves in position to win this football game a few times. When it comes to special teams, I thought we did a real good job of covering. I thought would have liked to have been perfect on field goals, but they've been solid all year, and we lean on them a little bit. So there's definitely lots of positives to build on. We got to find a way to put it in the W column.
Coach, out west on a short week and against a team that everybody it's been a storyline in the CFL, that is the BC Lions and Nathan Rourke, but a lot of things looked different in the positive for you guys tonight, and specifically on the run game offensively and the defensive stop. Can you speak to maybe some changes that were made or why that looked so different on the run game?
Well, I think it's just a combination of a commitment to it, maybe some longer edges schematically and those type of things. There's just type of emphasis that you put on it and things that we wanted to establish to open things up for us. And I thought, there's just a few second and longs we'd like to get off the field defensively, but overall, I know they had the explosion early, but that they're a good running football team also, and they had the one explosion early there. So there's always lots of positives to draw on. I just, I'm super proud of the effort. They came out fresh, and we're coming on a short week, and we had opportunities to win, dang it, and we just didn't get it done.
Coach O, thanks so much for joining us again. Another tough one. We look forward to chatting to you a little bit later in the week, and heal up, rest up, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us.
All right, we'll see you guys back in Hamilton. Thanks.
Coach O from the room, as presented by Access Storage. We'll get back to the room and talk to a player a little bit later. Guys, Archie, I'll throw this to you here. I think a lot of coaches in the Canadian Football League like to break up their seasons into thirds. I don't know what 1 in 5 tells you. I guess you are what you are, but something to build on. I mean, I thought this was an outstanding effort tonight.
It was. Tough place to play. One of the top teams in the CFL, and a missed field goal and a missed 2-point convert, and now you've got a tie game. So there's your 5 points right there. They just have to capitalize when they get opportunities. 3 of the losses for the Tiger Cats this year have been 5 points or less. So, yes, they are 1 in 5, but 5 of those games were against West Division opponents, and they won their one game against the East Division. Now they have 6 in a row against the East Division. In my opinion, 1 in 5 isn't good. We know that. You can't change that. The numbers don't lie. But these next 6 games are the season for the Tiger Cats. 4 against Toronto, 2 against Montreal. If they're successful in those games, that sets the Tiger Cats up for a good finish.
Let's get right back down to the locker room again to connect with Don Jackson. This exclusive post-game interview is presented by Access Storage. Don, again, good to see you back on the field. There was a commitment to the running game today.
Yes, sir.
And there was some success for you guys out there running the ball today.
Yeah. I mean, our biggest thing was to make sure we try to control the line of scrimmage. That was one of our game plans when we came out. There was times where we were really good at that, and there were times that we weren't. So that's a good football team over there. You got to hand it to them.
Hey, Don, so this game is the first game in the season where you kind of really felt like you had that will and that desire to just do whatever it takes offensively. I mean, breaking tackles, being slippery, having long 14-play drives, and that it's a lot of fun to play in those type of games. And what was the mood like coming into this game and throughout the game? Was it a little bit different than the past games?
Completely motivated. That's really what it was for us. We know what situation that we're in, and we just trying to just go out and actually just play some good football. That's all we want to do is go out there and try to play some good, clean football. And we're not executing right now. That's what it is. We're not executing right now. So we just got to keep going. We got to keep going to work and keep working hard, and see what we can do to get this thing right.
Don, Luke here, and Andy and I were both part of a team that went to the Grey Cup at 2 and 5. So
yes, sir.
It can happen up here, but really impressive performance tonight. Can you speak to maybe what you're hoping to continue? What worked so well tonight in the run game that you haven't had in the early weeks, and what are you looking to keep going in that way?
Really just building momentum off the group that we have. Those guys are busting their ass, man. They're in there till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock when guys are gone. They're in there 5 or 6 o'clock every day, and it's just going to take that. It's going to take us to be able to keep working on the run game and giving our offense the opportunity to not play behind the sticks. You know what I mean? So that's our biggest focus. We're motivated. We're not wilting for a second. We're excited to go back to work and we decided to improve off the things that we did well and get better at the things that we didn't.
Well said, Donnie. You got a full week ahead of you before the next game, and a big 6-game stretch against all East teams. Leading up to Labor Day. So I know you're a game time decision going in. Did you come out healthy?
Yeah. I'm just going to try get in that training room, man, ice it up so I can be ready for next week, baby. All of us.
Right on, bud. Well, safe travels home, and good luck down this next middle part of the season.
Andy, Lou, Bub, all you guys, man. Appreciate you guys so much. See you soon.
Don.
Thank you so much there, Don. Don Jackson, part of a Russian crew. They passed the century mark, which was a good thing. And again, I thought it really made that offense at times really chew up yardage. I mean, again, we'll go right back to that second to last drive. Again, you talked about it. It was 100 yards to glory there, Luke. And they ended up getting 89, getting to the BC 11 before they stalled on third down. I'm going to talk to you just on the last drive there, the unfortunate third down, or at least second down time count violation. What do you think what happened there?
It's tough. I mean, there's a lot of, you kind of get a sense of hurry, and things are moving quickly, and there's a lot to communicate with every play. And so, you could clearly see on the, as you're watching that, Dane was of the opinion that he got that off in time, obviously doesn't matter now, but it must have been very, very close. And in the last 3 minutes, you don't get a yardage penalty, and so you actually lose a chance to move the ball down the field, and it's just incredibly costly. And it's that kind of thing. In a couple games, in a lot of the games, you can point and say, well, it was the turnovers were the issue. And then tonight, you say you have a couple turnovers on downs that were problematic, and 3, in fact, turnovers on downs in this game, and then there's a couple times where throughout the season where they've had penalties, and you can point your finger there, but you've got to get to a place in sort of the maturity and the energy of the team where the mistakes that you do make in a night are enough to be overcome, that your positive plays can overcome those negative ones, and just hasn't happened for the Ticats.
RJ, it's the Montreal Alouettes next. The second place, they came up with a huge win tonight. Really hung in there in the nation's capital, 40-33. Again, a game just like this one that went right down to the final play. I think we've kind of hinted at it a little earlier this week. Kahari Jones coming in as a consultant.
Yes.
Maybe there's some secrets that we know about Danny Machoch's Alouettes that can be exposed next week, next Thursday.
I would think there would definitely be a lot of insider trading, so to speak, with Kahari Jones joining the Tiger Cats. It can only help, and he's such a great mind in the CFL. Just to add him to the staff I only see positives of it, and we saw some flashes on the offense, maybe a couple of little changes. He's had a chance to watch the team through a whole game. I think it will make a big difference. Tiger Cats have come close in a lot of games, losing by 5 points or less in 3 games. Ottawa, they could have won all their games but one. They've been right there. So, Sean Burke has done a good job putting that Red Blacks team together, and this is when the season starts, in my opinion, for the Tiger Cats. I'm not worried about the first 6 games. Next Thursday, season starts. If the Tiger Cats lose that game, I'll be a little bit concerned.
Yeah.
Well, it was fun to watch. I'll tell you that. I love seeing those long, gritty drives put together. I love seeing, tackles for losses on the defense, that outstanding coverage. I really enjoyed this game. It's a really disappointing loss, because I felt like they were the better team. They played well enough to win, and but a lot of Ellis for lesson, and a lot of good lessons, and like you said, they had, the whole season's ahead of them still. They're in that position.
Well, I don't think we have to rest up our bodies like the Tiger Cats players do, but we do have to rest up, and I know many of you that are joining us here late at night, about 1:20 in the morning. We thank you so much for joining us. Tough one for the Tiger Cats as they fall to 1-5. 17-12 is the decision here. The BC Lions are winners. They improved to 4-1. Thank you for listening. For Andy Fantuz, Mr. Broadhead and Mr. Tasker. I'm Bubba O'Neil. We'll be back on the air next Thursday for Tiger Cats pregame, as presented by Journey Rewards. It is the host Hamilton Tiger Cats welcoming the Montreal Alouettes in what will be a very, very important part of the schedule as they face those East teams right here at Tim Hortons Field. Join us there on the Tiger Cats Audio Network, please.